Anthony.
Okay. Hi. You guys know I'm Anthony McElroy. I'm chapter president here at Santiago High School. Now, euthanasia, physician-assisted suicide, is a very touchy subject, mainly because there's a loss of life involved. Anytime there's a situation where someone is dying, then people tend to focus more on that. That's why abortion is such a big deal. That's why murder is such a big deal. And all sorts of other crimes. I'm not going to name them all. But euthanasia, someone is dying. But then there's a certain group of people who think, well, that person wanted to die. Well, people want a lot of things. Doesn't mean you should always give it to them. For example, if you have a bratty kid in the supermarket, you're saying, I want candy, you're not going to give it to him, because then you're going to encourage that behavior, and he's going to keep yelling at you, give me the candy! And then you're going to have a shitty kid. For the same reason why, if you just keep saying, oh, these people want to die, let's just kill them, yeah? They want it, right? Yeah? How sick and disgusting is that? Where people are like, oh, I will totally kill that person. Yeah, bring them on. Bring on the fucking people who want to get killed. That's really the mentality in in the doctors that we have in this nation, where they will just kill someone if they ask them to. Like, why is that what we're doing? Sure, yeah, that person has a right to their own body, but think of the other person who has to kill him. Think of the doctor that has to experience what it's like to commit murder when they don't want to. I can go my whole life without wondering what it's like to be like clinically depressed. I don't want that feeling. But because someone else wants me to have that feeling, I have to respect them. That's not right. Because someone wants to die, I have to experience what a killer experiences with the neural impulses in the brain. Because no matter what the context is of murder, those same neurons are still firing in the brain. Those same microtransmitters are being sent along the axons of the neurons. The same emotions is being elicited, whether it's murder or euthanasia. And I, for one, do not think we should have to force doctors to kill someone just because that person wants to die. They can do it on their own.
Sort of add on to what Anthony was saying. The doctors that are going to perform the euthanasia on the patient, I feel that they should be doctors that are okay with it. They don't mind murdering someone. Like, killing just isn't an emotion for them. It has no effect on them. And before they do the euthanasia, I feel that they should have the patient undergo at least 1 or several years of therapy to make sure that euthanasia is really the way they want to go and how they want to die.
Thank you. I would just like to state a fact about euthanasia in America, when we did have it. They do have to undergo a 4 to 5 month waiting period after signing the documents and till the time they actually do want to go to the operation. That is a waiting period in which they will have time to reflect on their decision. That is how we did it before, and that is not dissimilar to what this gentleman just said. So we should all keep that in mind. They do have time to think about it. Any more speakers? Avi?
Okay. I just had a few questions for some of the previous speakers that went on. One, Chad, I want to know, like, what medications did your dad try? Do you know specifically?
I know oxycodone, Norco, can't think of that.
So my suggestion to him would be to get a med card. Second question was, Anthony, you addressed the fact that doctors shouldn't be forced to kill people. Well, currently in the death penalty system, doctors volunteer, and technically, as of the American Medical Association, they can get their licenses revoked for doing it, but they have to supervise to make sure you're not poking people in the wrong areas and so forth. And third, you wanted to address a waiting period of some sort as well. I mean, like me committing suicide, like I kind of want to do it like now, like understand. And you know, with death, I figured it like when you mentioned that, I thought of our death row kind of situation where you're on death row, but death row in California, you could be on death row for the average is like 25 years, while death row in Texas, the average is 2 years. So it's like, how are you going to monitor that nationally, especially with the variances in state laws and even local laws? Like, what's to stop me from being like, in Texas, I want to die, cool, pop, you're done. And in California, we're going to be like, okay, let me give you like a prostate exam to make sure you don't have some like weird illness that's, you know, coming from weird parts of your body. And so yeah, you guys can like, answer those for me. Brad,
thank you all. Any other speakers? other speakers? Okay, Byung.
Okay, Avi. So, talk about painkillers has been thrown around a bit. First off, Chad is right. Yes, there are quite a large array of opiates available on the market, but the fact of the matter is that if you keep getting types of drugs introduced to your system, even marijuana, even THC, it can still affect your system. Your body still begins to adapt to it. I've known people personally who they have to smoke 3 joints now to actually get some sort of high off THC. So yeah, you do start building up immunities. It does start affecting who it starts affecting you less. And the other problem with opiates is that they reduce your brain function. You're swimming in rainbows, but what does your family see? They just see some guy yeah, this is nice. Yeah, I don't mind being sick. That's not how is that supposed to affect the families? Is that how you really want to live? Is that how you really, does that affect your dignity? Some people have, feelings of affected dignity. They want to be conscious. They want fully aware, fully conscious for the record. They want to be with their families for their last moments. And instead, you want them swimming in rainbows? That's not how a lot of people want to go. So if they do want to die, if they do want a peaceful death, they should have that option.
I feel like nobody on earth really has the authority to end a life. No person that lives on earth, no human being can physically tell you, oh, well, if you want this, I'll give it to you. We don't have the power to do that because we're human beings. And as a human being, you gotta understand that you're no greater than anybody else. So technically, no one really has the power to end a life because it's not within their authority. And, well, from a Christian point of view, the only person who can really end a life is God. And when that happens, there's a spirit called death who comes. So it's if you're talking about euthanasia and all that stuff, you really don't, even as if you're suicidal, you really don't even have the power within yourself to decide whether you want to live or die. You know what I'm saying? So,
thank you. Yes.
And to address another point, I know most of my cousins have friends, they're younger than me. And not only that, but they have some crazy thoughts at 13, 14 years old. And they're like, oh, I just broke up with my boyfriend. I don't want to live anymore, blah, blah. And to that person that's 12, 13, 14 years old have the right, or should they decide if they want to live or die just because of some other guy that broke their heart, So I think that you have no right, especially if you're younger, or at any point of your life, you don't have the right, or you don't have the right to say that you want to end your life because of something that could be fixed. So that's how I see it.
Next speaker, in the back with the black jacket.
To correct your statement there, the age limit is 18, so it's not like they're going to be some poor grown-up child who wants to die because a stupid guy broke up with them. They're 18. They have control over what they should and shouldn't be doing. Honestly, I don't see a problem with assisted suicide because it's their choice. But I think that they should, or when they sign up, you should be monitored for a certain amount of time and have that chance to say no. So the 5-month period is pretty much what we should be doing, to monitor their past, what they've been doing, and how they've been reacting to certain stuff that's been going on in their life.
Megan, please sit down. I can't see you. Thank you. Yes, you. Middleton.
Hi, I'm John. My views on this are mostly on morals. The thought of taking your own life or taking someone else's life. If you think that's okay, there's something wrong with you. Like, that's the way I see it. Like, and back on a Christian point of view, it's like straight scripture from the Bible. It's a sin to commit like suicide. So like, yeah, you're suffering here, but if you think about it, like if you end up doing that, you're gonna end up suffering even more, like in the afterlife if you believe in that.
Getting a lot of hands here. You in the back of the crowd, you haven't spoken yet.
Hi, my name's Cameron. I'm a junior. Now before we turn this into a religious argument of Christian values and religion, how about we take a look at this from a very humanistic standpoint? We're giving people the choice to commit suicide. Now, we're giving them the 5-month waiting period to decide if they really want to go through it. We're giving them, as you said, a humane way to do it. And as for the doctors committing murder, they can volunteer whether or not they want to do it. And as you said, Matt, was it?
Yes, sir.
And as you said nobody has the right to take a life. Now, I'm Christian too. I agree with you. But I also know that that's not everybody's belief. And if the person who wants to die is okay with somebody taking their life, and the doctor who wants to take the life is fine with that, then the operation should be able to go forth as planned.
I actually agree with Matt and what Chad said. I believe no one has the right to take the life of another person. Also, people talking about like people's choice. You're giving them the choice to end their lives. Then why are we so against suicide? Why are we having suicide week? Why are we so against suicide, but we're for euthanasia? That's what I don't understand. And why is it that an 18-year-old has the right to do physician-assisted suicide, but not a 17-year-old or a 16-year-old or a 5-year-old? Do they not experience like the same pain that they go through? As soon as you turn 18, does like the pain double or something? I think that like the pain would be more severe in children, and like I think if you're going to subject people who are under 18 to bear through the pain, that I think people over 18 should also be willing to go through it and survive it.
In the gray, thank you.
What you said you need to give people the right to do suicide. I can jump in the 91 right now and commit suicide. That's not that big of a deal. 5-year-olds feel pain. The only pain I knew was bend my finger. What are you talking about? And euthanasia. Not everyone is an angsty 16-year-old who lost his girlfriend and wants to die. Alright, picture this. You're trapped in your body. You can see, hear, and feel everything, but you cannot move your limbs. And worst of all, you won't die. No one's man enough to kill you. This is not a big story. This actually happened. In the British court, they did not let a man die. He was paralyzed, everywhere besides his heart and lungs. He couldn't lift a finger to do anything. He was force-fed. He begged for death. He literally went up to people and can you kill me? Like in his wheelchair, his little army voice. No one did it. That's kind of weird. But I forgot his name. I feel like a person. He starved to death. He didn't take the food that was given to him. He sat there and let drool on his mouth. He died in a week without any food. 3 square meals a day, he didn't take any of it. So why would you not help this person? Why would you not put them out of their misery when they're dying, they're wasting away in front of you? Euthanasia should always be an option to anyone. Whether you're a 5-year-old or, well, not 5-year-old, but yeah, it doesn't matter if you are paralyzed or if you have terminal cancer. If you need that time to think about it, you're dying.